Hey everyone, hey everyone. Hey, this- okay, cool. Okay, sweet. Hey everyone. Let's wait for 2 minutes more, and let's see who's into the session. Till then, we'll okay. Also, uh, let me know, is my voice clear? Like, am I audible to you, everyone? Am I audible? Is voice good? Do a +1 into the chat if my voice is audible, everyone. Is it proper? Yep, yep, cool. Okay, so how many of you joined the DSA sessions? How was it? How many of you joined DSA sessions? Okay, cool. Okay, so we had enough DSA sessions. Now let's get into development. Cool. Yep. Yes. Yep. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, that's good. Cool. Cool. Great. So everyone's enjoying that. We have a DSA session, advanced DSA session for coming afterwards. Till then, we do the web development part, the basics, and the project part. So you can stick to it. Yep, cool guys. How many of you are new here? Like didn't join the DSA session? Anyone? Okay. How many of you know about web development? You're completely basic, like you are newbie to it, or you know basics about it. Let me know into the chat, please. Then we can start the session definitely. Everyone. Yeah. Newbie. Okay. Cool. Okay. Basics about web development. Cool. 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 Okay, so what we are going to do is see why we chose web development, because the most basic thing it could be, एक वेबसाइट क्या है, मतलब कुछ भी सेटअप नहीं करना, यू कैन स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द वेरी स्क्रैच एंड एक्सेस करना कितना इजी है उसको, जस्ट पुट अ लिंक एंड जस्ट start showing anything, right? So that's how basic it is. That's why we are going into web development, like getting into it. Before that, why we are doing the fundamentals of internet? Why is it important? Fundamentals is important because for the client it is not really important. Client के लिए इतना important नहीं है, क्योंकि उसे तो वेबसाइट के फीचर्स से मतलब है, सर्विसेज से मतलब है, राइट? He doesn't care about how everything is working on other end. But as a developer, you should know what like how your hosting is working, how the, the load and everything, how on the back end, front end, everything is working fine, about the internet, about networking, right? So you need to cover all that part. So that's why for the client it doesn't really matter, but you as a developer, it's important. So that's why we are covering the fundamentals of internet. Then we will start implementing, like making our own pages and website, and then we will do a project. Cool. HTML and CSS. Cool. Yeah, we'll go through that too. So for fundamentals of internet. Cool. Uh, so right now we are using internet. Everyone like you watching a stream on YouTube, right? How it's working. So okay, let me share my screen and then show you. Cool. Yeah. So is it visible, everyone? Cool. Okay. Let's see then. Okay. So before starting, yeah. Oh, duration of web development course. Well, so what we are trying to do is we'll talk about the fundamentals of development today, web development, and we'll discuss about HTML and CSS today. We'll also code it up, and then we'll talk about JavaScript and the advanced of it, right? Well, the thing is we cannot really go through everything. What we can do is like scratching the surface of everything. See, thing is there are multiple topics, so what we can do is we can just discuss about those topics that these topic exist. अगर वो exist करते हैं, you will know about it, and then you will go somewhere and see about the content about it. So discussing about that particular topic is important, right? And then you know that this thing exists, right? So let's say in JavaScript there are let's say in JavaScript there are like बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो बाकी लैंग्वेज से सेम है, बट कुछ टॉपिक्स उसमें ऐसे हैं जो उसी के ऊपर बेस्ड हैं. सो व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट दैट पार्ट, सो यू कैन लर्न इट थ्रू समवेयर एल्स टू, राइट? सो वील लाइक टच दोज टॉपिक्स एंड मूव ऑन. सो आज हम क्या करने वाले हैं, वी विल टॉक अबाउट द फंडामेंटल्स ऑफ इंटरनेट, अबाउट द HTML एंड CSS पार्ट, and tomorrow we are going to learn about the JavaScript, right? Advanced and all. Cool. Flask, well, for the beginners, I think it's overkill. We cannot really do that right now, but yeah, we can sure talk about it later. Yeah, we can. Yeah, cool. So okay, so let's talk about develop like internet first. Let's do this. I'm creating a college. See, uh, what a college like finally a project that you're talking about. Thing is, finally your project it should not be really a big thing or something. The thing matters is that you properly worked on it and you know what you have implemented in it, right? And try to make something that is different from other. See, right? So there are plenty of projects on GitHub on like my college details website. But what is catch in your website? So the interviewer is going to ask you that what's different, right? So you should do the learning over it, and like uh, you should show that this is genuinely my project, and you should know everything about it. So it doesn't really मैटर कि तुमने कितना बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट करा है या कुछ है. It's just that focus on your project, try to be different from someone, and do the learning. That's the important thing. Okay. Bootstrap. Cool. Yep. So for the fundamentals of internet, see, internet is what? Internet is nothing but yeah. Also, you can just comment down your doubts. Okay. Cool. Intro. I think we had the intro in the session, the very first session. Yeah. So we'll do that later. Cool. So cool. Yeah, but for the intro part, we can say I'm the tech lead at crackDSA, and you can actually search Suraj Gaud on LinkedIn, so that works fine. Cool. Uh, yeah. So for the yeah, so for the fundamentals of internet part, thing is, internet like it is connection of a lot of computers, right? Either is it wireless or it is connected. Thing is, for the end user, जैसे मेरे पास ये कंप्यूटर है, this is the client side, but everything that is like a code हुआ या फिर there's a document like data वगैरह, those are onto the hosting part, that is somewhere onto the other end of the world, right? जैसे if you host it on your any of hosting side, AWS, Google Cloud, so that is somewhere onto the data center. But after all, it is just computers connected each other either wirelessly or wired, right? So router and these are like modem. These all are the like intermediate things to connect it us each other, like all these and pulling out. So yeah. So now, since I think internet is a pretty basic thing to all, you know that this thing exists. Now let's talk about the website part. So website is nothing but built of like pretty much basic things, that is HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So HTML gives it a structure, CSS gives it a styling, and JavaScript gives it the functionality, right? So the very basic thing you need to do is like learning these three, and then comes the frameworks and all. So you will be very easy with that if you cover these in a very good way, in a very good manner, right? So let's talk about HTML then. Cool. Let's talk about HTML, and then we will talk about CSS, and we are going to try to wrap, and then we will talk about JavaScript tomorrow, right? Cool. Is my screen visible? Yeah. Is my screen visible, guys? Like you see the IDE. So we are using the online IDE for this. So you see this HTML file. So it is blank right now. Cool. So let me talk about the. Okay. So let me talk. Yeah. So let me talk about the let me talk about HTML. See, it is the most forgiving language that is there. अगर मैं कुछ भी ऐसे इसमें कुछ नॉर्मली भी लिखता हूँ, सो इट विल रियली नॉट गिव मी एरर, राइट? कंपाइलेशन एरर और समथिंग, राइट? ऐसा भी कुछ नहीं है. ऑल्सो there are set of rules to write HTML code, but if you don't do it that way, it is also completely fine, right? Also in HTML, how we write code is using tags, right? Everything is like considered into the tags. So what tags? Like the very first basic tag you can see is HTML tag, yes, right? So you see this. This is the first like opening, and this closing, right? This is the opening tag and this closing tag, right? And why this opening and closing tag? We will talk about those tags also, which are like only like open and close, and there is no another tag, and there's a reason for it, right? So you understand? There's a clear word. Is my voice not clear? Is my voice audible? Yeah. The most basic tag that is there, HTML. Even if you not put it, it will work completely fine. As I told you that HTML is very like forgiving language, but as writing like quality code, you should consider like there is a good practice to write it that way. So you should write it this way. Now, so you wrote the HTML tag. Now comes the head tag, right? So let me write it first, and then I'll tell you what these mean. Cool. Ah, typo. Cool. There's this head tag and this is body tag. As you can see, this is the UI part. You are not showing anything here, right? So we didn't really wrote a lot of things there. We just wrote some tags. So this is the head tag, and this is the body tag. Let's talk about it. What head tag represent? The head tag represent the metadata for the website. And why is it important? Like specifying the links, metadata, like all that stuff that is not going on to the UI. जैसे ये जो वेबसाइट यहाँ पर जो शो होगा, दैट इज द रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ द यूआई, बट आई एम नॉट प्रिंटिंग ऑल दैट. लाइक आई एम in the head tag, I'm storing the information about the website, links and other like icon, title, that's all. Okay. Or you can also put your UI part here too, but as I said, there are set of rules to write it that way. Also, why these tags are important? These tags tells the browser that this tag does, मतलब इसका ये functionality है, right? Even if I name a tag myself, like I can write a tag this way, this is also valid. HTML is not really giving me any error, right? I can write it this way. You see, it is like the UI is printed, right? So as I said, it works fine, but you should write it that way that browser understand it, right? So there are tags that tells the browser that this particular tag does this work. So this head tag tells that whatever inside it is going to be the information about the document or the page, right? So let's start with this. We can start with the title, right? So let's write a title. Since let's open this website. See, so right now what you are saying is you're seeing gravity answer. This is somewhere like hosted onto the somewhere hosted, as we are using the online ID. So you see there's no title, right? But we can give it. We can give it like, so this building. Hmm. You see the title has been changed, right? So or also, as you can see, there is no UI printed here. जो वेबसाइट जो दिख रही है उस पर तो ये सब नहीं दिख रहा, राइट? यहाँ पर जो जो मैंने हेड टैग में डाला है, दैट इज नॉट शोइंग हियर, बट इट इज द इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट द वेबसाइट, राइट? This title also, I'm going to write it onto the comments. So you can comment it this way, like you can add icon here, right? You can add icon here. You can add the metadata. Let's say also what the metadata I'm talking about. Let me know into the comments what is metadata, guys. Let's put it onto the chat, and I'm going to explain it. What it is like. It is a very powerful thing for if you want your site to be like searched in seconds. Like it is really important for your website. Hurry, hurry up. Anyone? You can drop no if you don't know about it. Anyone? Cool, cool. Yep. Okay. So metadata, like let's not talk about web page. Let's talk about files in our let's say कोई photo खींचा हमने. So if we talk about the details of it, you can see the time that is was taken, the device, all that information that was built for it, like to put into it, right? Same thing happens with the website, like web page. You search news. कोई न्यूज सर्च करा तुमने, let's say IPL thing is happening. So there are plenty of website, like you search it on the Google, you see a lot of websites there, right? And you see those websites, why they are showing onto your feed, like onto your Google feed, because while making those web pages they have put the keywords, the metadata onto the web page. Let's say let's say I'm building this particular website for an let's say MI versus DC, right? So what I'm right, so there's this meta, right? Like we can define. So yeah, we can define. This is working fine. Metadata gives information regarding etching. Yeah, yeah, right, Kunal. Yeah. So we can specify the information about description. We can specify the information about keywords. We can a lot of bunch of things, right? Also, we can link things there. Why this linking thing is important? Why this link is important? So you see those files, you see these script.js and style.css. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that you can write CSS and the JavaScript also here. But why is it important to connect it like onto the links, onto the other links, right? Why? Okay, so let's write some HTML then. So you got this part head tag, but like, see, I've told you the thing about it. Like there are multiple things. You can just you are going to get notes about it, so you can see a lot of things there, and you can just know about what comes into the head tag, and there are metadata information about it. So you just understand these things. There is HTML tag. There is this head tag, which there is the information about it. You are always going to consider all the information that is not going to implement it on the UI. UI part पे जो implement कर रहे हो, that is not going to be into the head tag, right? Your links, your title, metadata, and so on. And there's a lot of stuff. Into the body tag, you are going to put all your UI code. As I said, HTML doesn't really care about it, but you as a developer care about it. That's why you are going to put your like write your quality code as suggested, right? So now let's talk about the UI part. So this HTML is covered. Tag, like that was the easy one. Head tag is there. Yeah. Can anyone do the plus one into the chat if we can start implementing the UI part? Did you understand whatever like I've explained so far? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay, so we can start with the body part. What goes onto the body is this. You see this. You see this document, right? This all represent as a document. Just say you see a Word document, right? Let's say just focus on a particular single Word document, right? So you assume this is also a Word document. So you are going to put your UI part and start implementing all this, and you can access it through using JavaScript, and you can like style it using CSS, right? So let's write some paper. Cool. So we have this S header tag. So let's say, cool. See this? Yeah. And we are going to do the bunch of it. You see, like I only corrected it onto the start of the tag, but didn't correct it onto the end of the tags, right? Even then it's working. So as I said, HTML is like not it's not a headache for you, but it's good to know. It's good to understand, right? Also, I forgot to mention, you can also specify the character set, char set that is there. Like onto the meta, there's this thing char set. Can anyone tell me what is char set? Character set? What is it? And why is it important? Can anyone tell me what is char set? Anyone? And why is it important? Why to specify in your website that we are using char set of UTF-8 or whatsoever? Anyone? Yeah, right, Shivam. So what CASAT is going to specify is that you are using a particular character set that is like, so you seeing these like these alphabets, right? So there are also symbols, but we do have also like emojis, right? So let's say you want to implement to display page in proper form. No, that's not. Yeah. This character set is important for your, like, whatever the symbols, whatever the characters that you are going to use in your website, that comes onto, like, what computer understand it is that, like, binary. So you need to specify to use particular character set, though, so that so that is like into the ASCII codes, right? So if you want to use like new emojis or something, so there is a particular character set that may not understand, okay, this character like ABCD and all, it understand, but let's say we using emojis or some kind of symbol that doesn't come onto the default character. So, so for now, you should understand that UTF character set, like UTF-8, you need to specify is the, like, uh, the very common, and you can use any of the emojis, like emoji or something. So it compiles really easy, right? Cool. So that is important. That is important for your HTML document to specify what character set to use, right? So as I said, anything like giving information about your HTML document goes onto the head tag. And now comes the UI part. Cool. Hmm. Yeah, right. Right, Shiva. Cool. Let's talk about the head tag. So as you can see, we have H5 them properly here, but yeah, we can definitely do that. The- let's try. Let's another one, and let's do S7. Yeah. Do you see this? It's like getting really, yeah, I think. Hmm. Cool. So as you can see, the content that is that is being displayed is either bigger, it is either bigger or smaller, right? Like this particular H1 tag is giving it a bigger size, and the tags that we are going to decrease are not like showing. I think, I think the internet is gone. Is it fine now, guys? Like, sorry about the inconvenience. Sorry about that. Yeah. Is it good now? Can anyone confirm? Is it good now? Sorry about that. Yeah. Cool. Is it good now? Anyone? Into the chat. Is it still stuck or? Yeah. Cool. Okay. So see, as I wrote H1, H2, H3 these tags. So what browser, like, browser को information पता है कि we are using H1, like the particular tags that are already onto it. I think it's doing an internet issue. Okay. Is it the internet is doing the weird thing? Sorry about that, guys. Is it fine? Is everything fine? Cool. So browser is trying to make sense of it, right? Uh, it's, yeah, the ID was stuck actually. Is everything all right? Yeah. So ID was stuck. So as I'm trying to do another tag that is, let's say S7, then it is it is not really going to make sense of it. Why? See, as I was decreasing the header tags, and now it is showing the default one, right? Why? Because there's some information about the tags. Okay, this particular tag behaves like that. So let's say I do a button tag thing. We do have a button tag. Cool. We do have a button here. So, so you see it is clickable and thing. And why is it happening? Because browser know that this particular tag has this behavior, right? So why we are using writing HTML using tags or proper tags, so that browser should know that this particular tag has this functionality. So we are writing it that way, right? There are like, let's say, paragraph tag, or there are a lot of tags जिनका behavior ही है कि this particular tag do this thing, right? You see form tag, right? So that actually submits the information, like it redirects. So the browser tells it for the particular tag that it has some kind of behavior. So that's why we are using that, right? So as we said, as we saw that we had the header tags, and since we were trying to achieve S7, so there is nothing like S7, right? That's why it was showing some the default thing, right? Also, you might have seen like why we are using this opening and closing, why we need this closing thing. Why can't we have this simple like this way? Simple this. Why can't we have it, right? So, for the need for it, like why do we actually need it? Because let's say we have a grid. Let's say there's a whole frame, and so let's say this is press me button, and inside it I do need another button, right? Yeah. Yes. Can't really do that, but let's talk about the digit. So we can specify a lot of things there, right? As we are writing. So what this particular thing is helping is that we can put the content inside it, and we can achieve that thing properly. And all there are some tags that doesn't really have closing tags. So let's talk about them too. Image tag, a very pretty basic one. So as of now, there's no. Let's put some source into it. Hmm. Put it from our own, right? Cool. Let's get some. Yeah, that works. So giving it a source. Let's see this. So you see this. Up, the thing is why it doesn't have a closing tag, because basically like images like there's this proper like what can be inside it, right? It is a proper document. It's a proper file, right? So that is why it doesn't have this closing tag thing, right? And also there are tags that doesn't have this closing tags, so that is like inline tags and thing. Uh, so now why is it like, okay, since I have given it division, it is showing this like hey there and after hey there and all. Okay, what if What if I do use it this way? We do have it here there, and I give it a span tag. You can uh, I'll give the info about the tag, so you can learn it from the resources. Uh, hmm, cool. So why it's not going down? The span tag, like we why it's not going down? Even if I put it outside the H1 tag, why it's not going down? It's now. Why? Because this was the heading up. Like there's this particular behavior, right? There's a particular behavior that the that this is a like inline tag, or this is a particular different type of tag. So you can definitely learn it from the resource, that what properties that particular what property that particular tag means, right? So pretty much these were the tags. Let's okay, let's write a simple h1. Mm, so we wrote the head tag, that is information about it, and in this body tag we can define the UI. But what I'm not going to do is like writing a lot of tags here and giving the UI information here. Let's focus on, let's more focus on what we have things, like what are the things that exist there. Okay. Okay, so we have the simple h1, that is like header tag, right? So let's try to give it a style. What we can do is we can write the styling here only, right? So we can do it this way: write style and give information about it, and it's super easy. Let's say we give it a property of red, like color of red. So you see, like you can give the styling here, right? We also have these. So I give this a ID of A. So we do have IDs too, and we also have classes, right? IDs are like unique. Yeah, you can definitely put different things, but the right way is putting it like as mentioned like as advice, right? So let's try to do things with it. So I have defined two tags here, and this one is B, the class of B. Okay, let's try to access it. So as I've told you, you can also style it here. This is called inline styling, right? So I have styled it only here, right? I can style it even here, right? So for it a color, there are plenty of property about CSS that are there. You'll know about it onto the like animations, a lot of things that are there. You can definitely check it onto the resources. Pretty simple stuff, you can definitely run it, right? We are just touching the surface it here, that this thing particular exists, right? So let's give it a color. Okay, and onto this, so give it a color of pink. That easy. So you see this, we can also specify like fonts and all. So this was inline styling, but is it really good to specify here? There's another way we can do this, is using into the style tag. Onto the head tag, you should like you can use the style tag, that is this particular thing, and you can access like ये जो tags हैं, you can access them here and style it properly. So let's say we use h1 first, then we will try it for the divs. So h1, like write the name for the tag and put a bracket and start styling. So let's say I give it a font size, uh, that is like 20 pixels. That's good. Yeah. Okay, so it's 20 pixel now. A and B seems smaller, but how we are going to access them? Let's say I write div here and give it a font size of 30 pixels. Cool. Now, now what happens is A and B both have 30 pixels. But let's say onto the news website, let's say, so the heading is like news heading is pretty much bigger and this particular thing is smaller. So what we can do about it, like we should not use this div, like it is a global, like div is already here and also here. But what else information do we have here? Like what is there? Like what we have defined here that we can use. What else with the div tags we have defined? Can anyone let me know in the chat? This is pretty basic, like this is to get start. Yeah. So there's like other information that we have described onto the div tags. What is that? Anyone? Put into the chat. Like these sessions are pretty basic about it, and we can, yeah, we can like kick start with some advanced thing. As yeah, yeah, class and id. So why we have we gave it class and id. Yeah, and that is going to help us to like access it even in the javascript thing and also for the css. So how we access a id. So we can use it a hash thing and write the name for the id. So for the a it is this. So it works like that. So let's say I write the font size for this as 30 pixels, and for the B, I can use it 60 pixels. Cool. What happens now is we have different styling for different, like you see different styling for different tags. And how we achieved this using this, giving it a class or giving it a id, right? Also, like we have also defined a class here. So instead of like this is how we access a id, and instead of this what we can do is like put a dot and it turns out to be a class. Let's say I remove a class from here. So is it going to work now? No, obviously, because we have specified here class B and class B is not here, right? So it comes back again and it start working now. Cool. So you understand that these are the tags. We give it a ID class. We can manipulate the styling for it. We can also write the style for it. Okay, let's do one thing. We have the H1 tag here, right? Cool. I'm going to do one thing and let me know that if you guys find out what. Yeah, yeah, sorry about that. Sure. Yep. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay. Pretty much visible. Yeah. Okay, so we have given it like let's give it a color here. Uh so let's remove these tags for now. H1 in the styling I gave it a color of red. In the H1 here I give it a color of blue. Else do it like link a CSS file here, right? Let's not do this as of now. Pretty complicated stuff. Like not let's not go into it. Yeah. Okay. So let me like tell me why, like we have specified the color for H1 blue. Why is it not showing it here? Let me on to the comments. Why is it not showing the color blue? I've styled it blue color here, but why is it not showing it? Why it's not reflecting onto the UI? Anyone into the chat? Right. Cool. So you understand like these are the things that might be like uh no. Class and ID are not really important. Yeah, yeah. Swastik is right. Inline tag has more priority. Like there's a particular thing, specificity, to be precise. I write it here. Specificity. Okay. See this? Let's just talk about it. Yeah. So specificity of particular. Let's say I wrote this. So into this particular H1 tag, it's showing the. Okay, let's let it build. Yeah, it need build. Cool. Yeah. So it's showing the blue color here for this particular tag, but it is not showing for the launchpad. Why? Because there's a particular specificity for particular tags. We can definitely put a important here, but that would go like advanced thing. So for now, just understand the specificity for inline tags, that is the highest one. So you can understand it that this way. This is specificity of one, let's say, and two and three. So this goes for the inline tags, right? And this one goes for the style tag. That goes onto the HTML page, right? And that goes onto the particular, like let's say CSS file that you connect to your particular web page, right? So what could happen is I have styled H1 color here red, right? So I've styled it here. I also styled it onto the style tag, color blue. I can also specify the color in the another file that is here, that I can link to the this particular file. So what is now it is going to configure like what is the most specific, which one has the more specificity for that particular property. So मैंने यहाँ पर कलर इसमें भी दिया है, स्टाइल टैग में भी दिया है, और यहाँ पर inline में भी दिया है. So inline has more specificity, right? So that's why it is taking that particular. Or since I have not styled it here, now what it is going to take? It is going to take like I so what like inline tag यहाँ पर है नहीं, तो specificity फिर सबसे ज़्यादा किसकी हुई? Style tag की, because it is not no, it is now at the first number, right? Since we don't have any inline style, right? So also like if I also had another H1, and I can use it like using the ID or class and give it a style, so that works fine. So just understand the specificity of this particular. So ये like why is it important? Because जब तुम वेबसाइट बना रहे हो तो कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि there are a lot of properties that collide with each other. I think like, can I give it an example? uh, hmm. Yeah, you see this? Why can you see that there's like the line is being crossed? Like, why this is happening? Like for this property, it is not like width is 8 rem for this particular tag, like whatever the element was there, but it is like, you see this? Why 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 is it happening? So let for those who don't know, these are the styling for that particular element or particular web page, right? So these styling are actually colliding, right? So 8 rem like 8 rem, like we can talk about it like rems and all, right? Let's just say let's write it onto the pixel, you will understand better. I give it 30 pixels, right? It was for the image. 30. Yeah, 100 pixel work. So that is like working fine. Now, can anyone tell me into the comments why is it happening? Why is it being crossed out? Why these styles are being crossed out? There are a lot of styles that are being crossed out. Anyone into the chat? So that's why we needed the specificity thing. Anyone? No, like it's not that. The CSS is already there. The web browser is showing the CSS. Size of the screen is small. No, that is not the thing. Yeah, like size and all is perfect, but specificity, yeah. So yeah, like size is also a factor. Like since we have media queries and all, but not focus on the media queries. Just focus on why they being crossed out. Because like what happens in media queries? Media queries में क्या होता है? जैसे we have defined a global, we have defined a global property for that particular image. Let's say onto the bigger screen, I'm going to show my image as 200 pixels. Let's focus on that global property 200 pixels. अब मीडिया क्वेरी में हम क्या स्पेसिफाई कर रहे हैं कि जब स्क्रीन साइज लेट्स से 500 पिक्सल्स विड्थ हो, तब नाउ शो लाइक विड्थ ऑफ 100 पिक्सल्स. So what is going to happen is media queries like giving it a specificity that जो global property था, now cross that out and put this particular property. So that is also being happening here, and that was we are trying to learn here too, the specificity thing, right? So that's what happening here too. So while making your website, you yeah, so while making your website you should consider specificity thing, because there might be case while making animation, while make a lot of things that you are being stuck and some things are not working. So just check that is there any style, inline styling that you gave. So let's say मैंने launchpad x लिखा है यहाँ पे, I'm giving it a font size of 18 pixels. I'm editing it in my css file, and then I'm looking at my ui part, that why is it not showing like I've specified here ke, like I've specified here ke it's 30 pixels, like 30 pixels. I'm not writing it that. Yeah. So let's say it's 30 pixels, but why is it not reflecting onto my UI? That is just because I've already did it onto the styling, inline styling, and it has a more priority. So that's why it is happening. So properties might collide. So you should learn about that too, right? So I hope you understand. Let me know +1 into the chat if you that topic is, if you understand about it, and was it helpful. Do a +1 into the chat if was it helpful. Anyone? Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Great. So what we have discussed so far is fundamentals of internet, like how it works. So okay, let's wrap it with some other things. So as I mentioned, like you can write tags there. We give it a button. There are a lot of things. Let's say anchor tag, right? There are properties too here, hyper reference and all, right? We can mm, cool, right? So whatever is happening here, like we are done with the structure. HTML की help से I can definitely make the structure for my website. With the CSS I can definitely, like this is press me, so let me give it a style. So should not, yeah, give it a hmm, cool. Hmm. I don't know why like red color. I don't really, yeah. So back. Yeah. And color of white. Some pretty basic CSS. Yeah. So you say this, we have a button and we have an anchor tag. Now we have covered the CS, like we have covered the HTML. What it does, it gives it a structure. What CSS does, it gives the styling for our whatever the tag, like whatever the structure of the website, right? Now what is left? Can anyone tell me into the comments, like what are the other things that are left? Let's make it interactive, right? So let's say on pressing of a button, I want to show google.com, like go on to the another website. but I'm pressing it right now, but nothing is happening. I'm pressing it. Yeah. So now what we need is, what do we need now? Yeah, yeah. Shivam is again. Yeah, we need JavaScript to add what? What JavaScript add to your document? What you to your web page? So you understand the need for that particular language, particular particular thing, right? Yeah, HTML is giving the structure for your website, the information for your website. CSS is pretty much giving the styling for it. Now, if you do need functionality, you need JavaScript, right? Right. Yeah. So let's say I want to open that particular website on the pressing of a button, and google.com shows up. Or let's say I want to show a form. If someone fills it, and on the press of a button, it goes on to goes on to my database, right? So we can specify all that information onto the JavaScript. And what is that? That is functionality of a website, right? That comes onto the functionality of a website, and we can pretty much do a lot of things with this, right? So we will discuss about JavaScript tomorrow onwards, and we are going to talk a lot about it, like what are synchronous and asynchronous call, like callbacks, and there are a lot of like JavaScript is pretty cool. I mean, a lot of people hate it, but yeah, that's cool anyway. Yeah. So let me know if HTML was fine. Like, see, HTML and CSS is pretty basic. You can just go onto the website and surf it, like read a document. You're going to understand. It's like a child's play. You can like you see this button. बटन को देख के क्या लग रहा है? Button, what it would do? It is going to be a button, right? Yeah, I'm not telling that it cannot go like advanced. Definitely it can go. But let's say color red, color blue. What color says actually? Color means color, right? Color for that particular thing, and we are specifying the color. So that is something very basic. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that works. So it works without like how can you do that like specifying? Uh, so let's say I give it a form and I press I press the I press there's a joining form that all the information that was onto the form go onto the particular database. So how you can do that into the HTML? Only that like we can write the script here, but that script is actually JavaScript, right? The script tag that we use, we can write the JavaScript here, but that is ultimately JavaScript, na? HTML is giving it this structure and all. That is ultimately JavaScript, right? Yeah, you can pretty much write JavaScript here. So in any other language, we do have variables. So you also have variables here. So let's say, you can write it this way, right? Right? Yeah. So these are the variables. Now we are going to talk about like what this let, war, const, different things mean. Yeah. What what it see href, what it does is like it is going to refer you some to another website we are talking about. So like it is not converting your data to somewhere. It is what it's just doing is like uh, it is like taking to another web page. That's it. So where's this connection part? Where's this data part that is going to onto the website? Yeah, we will talk about the JavaScript tomorrow. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. You can write the JavaScript here onwards. Also you can write the JavaScript here too. You see this, there's this JavaScript, and we can link the JavaScript here. So with that, let's understand, like let's sum this all up. Okay. So what was it? We had the HTML tag, that is like giving it a proper wrapper. We have the head tag that actually information, like give it a information, page info, right? We have the body tag that refers to the UI for the page, right? And we have the script that is like functionality. So yeah, giving the functionality. Also, yeah, okay. Also, what we talked about is like CSS. We talked about inline styling. We talked about opening and closing tag, what they do mean, we inline tags and all. There are a lot of things. We talked about like the styling here or giving a style here, right? Or do it here. We talked about the specificity of particular tags using that property of CSS, right? So yeah, so we covered LinkedIn. You can just go onto the LinkedIn and search Suraj Gaud there. Yeah, you'll find it. Yeah, cool. Yep. So with that, we covered all this. Pretty basic. Like today's session was for the if you know web development, it the session might be a very a very low key session, but it was for the basics, like beginners. So I tried to give it proper information about it. We talked about IDs, classes. We tried to like fetch the target that particular tags. So that was it. Now with that, what we have summed up actually is HTML giving it a structure, CSS giving it a styles, and functionality we are going to add using JavaScript, right? And then on to like when we cover the JavaScript part, then comes the cool part that is working on the frameworks, right? So React and all. So we're going to talk about that too. With that, so let me know if we can wrap up here or there are any doubts so far. Let me know into the chat. Yeah. So like HTML and CS are pretty basic stuff. I'll be like putting the resources. You can go onto the learnings page. So right now that is WebDAV fundamental and basic WebDAV. So you see this here. That are not here right now. I'll be like uploading the sources here, so you can just check them out and understand. So what we are doing in these streams is actually we are trying to scratch the surface of that particular topic, that this thing exists, this that, right? You can tell me your doubts, we'll resolve that, right? With that, like brushing up everything. That's it. It's not a course. It's not a like we can definitely can't fit in something that took years and years to build and fitting it into a 1 hour. That doesn't really make sense, right? Yeah. So we will try to like sum up things, and yeah. So let me know into the chat if the session was helpful about HTML, CSS, and learning about the website, right? And yeah, let me know the feedback, guys. How was it? Good. Any doubts? Any doubts of yours? You can put it onto the chat. Yeah. Any doubts so far about today's session? Was it fine? Was it cool? Like it is not that hard. It was just some normal like fun part, I guess. It's not that hard. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Cool session. Yeah. You guys are amazing too. Yeah. For keep sticking to it for 1 hour. That's sound promising. Cool. So with that, yeah, with that we can wrap up definitely. Also, if there are any doubts, you can just head over to my LinkedIn if you really want something or like to specific, or we can have the doubt session. But I don't think there are pretty much doubts so far. It was some basic things that we covered. And let me know if there should be a doubt session. We'll definitely do it. With LaunchPadx, what we are trying with this bootcamp, what we are trying is we are trying to teach you here onto the session. Also, we have the doubt session, so that is the cherry on the cake thing, right? We have educators to like give proper guidance about it, so you should not miss out on these two. Yeah. So with that, I think we can wrap it up. If that's helpful, just put a plus one onto the chat. Last time I think I'm asking too much. Yeah. Okay. uh okay, everyone. So was it helpful? Cool. Yeah. Yep. So let's meet tomorrow onto the JavaScript session. It's pretty cool, it's pretty good. Let's cover that too. And we have other things planned with crackDSA coming afterwards, so we can talk about that too. Yeah. With that, let's wrap up today's session, I think. And I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Okay. If there's any doubt or something, just head over to my LinkedIn. That's cool. Okay. Thanks for being here. See you. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye. Have a great day. And also try to implement whatever we learned so far.